A simple science experiment. Today's experiment is going to look at invisible germs, and specifically about bacteria. We're going to look at what harm one germ alone can do. Bacteria are a kind of germ that can make copies of themselves really quickly. A bacteria can divide into two, and some only take about 20 minutes to do this. So just imagine what would happen after 1 hour, 2 hours, 10 hours, 24 hours. So let's take a look at one cell. One cell divides into two cells. Two cells will then divide into 4 cells. These 4 cells will then divide again and make 8 cells of bacteria. These 8 cells in turn will divide and make 16 cells of bacteria. This means that quite possibly in 48 hours, one cell dividing every 20 minutes and with plenty of food and nutrition would possibly weigh more than the Earth. For this experiment, you will need the following: 1, 2, 3 slices of bread, 1 permanent marker, 1, 2, 3 resealable plastic bags, a bar of soap, a nail brush, and a tongs to pick up the bread without touching it. On the first plastic bag, you need to write the word control. And into this plastic bag, we're going to use the tongs to pick up a piece of bread and then slowly put it into your plastic bag without touching it with your fingers. And then you have to make sure that it's completely sealed. Put the plastic bag on the table, the control plastic bag, and then take another. On this plastic bag, you should write the words dirty hands. And for this part of the experiment, you need to pick up the bread with your hand. Make sure that you touch it all over the piece of bread as much as you can. Place it into the plastic bag and seal it. Then you can lay it down on the table next to the bag called control. For the next part of the experiment, what you're going to need is your soap and your nail brush. Make sure you wash your hands thoroughly using the soap and the nail brush to clean your nails. Then pick up the last piece of bread and make sure you put it into the plastic bag and seal it very carefully. This is your clean hands bag. Put it next to your dirty hands bag, next to the control bag. For the final part of the experiment, take the bags and put them next to a window or a radiator. You can see here I've done both. The plastic bags with the bread in need to be kept somewhere warm because that will help any bacteria to reproduce. Over the next 7 days, your job is to take photos of the bags and observe any differences you have. At the end of the 7 days, you can see what changes have happened in the 3 bags. If there have been any changes, what do you think? Here is the list of things that you will need to carry out your experiment. You will need 3 slices of sliced bread, a permanent marker pen, 3 sealable plastic bags, soap and a nail brush, and clean tongs if you have them. If you don't, you can use some kitchen roll to pick up the bread, but make sure that your hands don't touch the bread before it goes into the bag. And finally, when it's time to throw away your plastic bags, make sure you don't open the plastic bags. Just throw them straight into the bin because they could have some bad bacteria in there. They could be a bit toxic. Thank you.